Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, buenos dias, good morning, peace and blessings be to you guys. Hope you guys are doing great. I pray that your family members are doing well. Another day, another dollar making the donuts. 73 here on the barometer, North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Short topic today, guys. Speaking a little bit about ancestry and what do we consider ancestry or ancestors. We all know that through our bloodline, right, through our lineage, our descendants, our race, if you want to say, we have ancestors, right, that we consider our ancestors. And a lot of these ancestors we either reverence or we propitiate or we ask for guidance or we elevate, you know, and so forth and so on. But in true essence and reality, when we start to look at the way the spiritual concepts work, depending of what you believe, you might believe something different, you might follow something different. I'm only going based on what I understand, how I perceive what I'm speaking about in this topic. We all come from one source, right? And being that we all come from that same source, when someone passes over to the other side, meaning they die, those will be considered also our ancestors. Because we understand, right, that there's no culture, there's no language, there's no color, there's no creed, there is none of this in the other side, right? Unless we believe that there is racism on the other side in the spiritual realm. I don't think so. You know, I do not believe that. I believe that either a spirit stays here in between both realms because either something happened between that transition or they're too connected either to family, loved ones, material things of life, worldly things, worldly lust, and then other types of lust, and so forth and so on. So when I hear sometimes people saying, I just do ancestral worship, and I only deal with ancestors, sometimes I ask myself, what ancestors are we talking about? Because when we look more further and we understand a little bit more, we see that ancestors are all. Because in Nkisi Malongo, right, when we have our Nkisis, our prendas, our whatever it may be, our Ngangas, whatever, that Mfumbe in there, or those Mfumbes inside those Nkisis or Ngangas, are considered to us our ancestors. And they don't have to be from our biogenetic lineage or ancestry per se. So these type of conversations sometimes are good to have with certain individuals, and I know that there's gonna be maybe some thought about, wait, but how can my ancestor be a European? Or I don't agree with that for the simple fact is that maybe a European nation of people had your people in slavery, you know, like what happened to mines and to African American and to many others. But In all true reality, when you look at this, right, what our ancestors went through got us where we are here today. If it wasn't for what they fought for, what they did, the hardships and sufferings they went through, we wouldn't be here right now. And I myself am a mixed mud. You know, I can't stand here and say I am 100% Taino, Arawak. I can't say I'm 100% European from this nation. I can't say I am black from this tribe or ancestral lineage. No, I'm mixed. I have all of the above and maybe even more from other nationalities. You understand? So those in essence become my ancestors, no matter what. You know? So when I ask my ancestors for guidance, for understanding, for knowledge, for wisdom, for health, for me and my family and my godchildren or whatever, my godfather, you know, in general, even humanity, I ask for peace, tranquility, union between people, for we could get along with each other and, you know, be able to at least to live with one another. You know, I have to understand that I'm asking even from ancestors that some people might not like or might have some type of, you know, problem with that because of history, and it's understandable. But like I said, on the other side, right, if you already have continued on and you don't hold to that to those concepts of being part of a community, having a dialect, a culture, you know, then everyone else is your ancestor, no matter what. Because you're here now. Whatever happened in the past happened in the past. And if you was to deny, for me, and I'm only going to say for me, if you was to deny what has happened in the past or use it to gain or to complain, it's like if your ancestors, what they went through and did was for nothing. You know, I really think that our duty is to be better people, to raise our children to be even way better than us. So what our ancestors did was not in vain. So you know, this is the type of things that when we speak about ancestry, there might be some issues because not everybody is gonna see this the same, and it's understandable. That is the greatness of us human beings, having different understanding and having an opportunity and being able to be free and speak in this country and not agree on everything. Hold on one second. And listen very clearly. I'm not saying that you can't reverence your ancestors a certain particular, because I do. You know, here and I, you know, I'm not gonna say all the times I don't set no altars or stuff like that. You understand? I don't do that. You know, when I wanna do something for my ancestors, I just go ahead and do it. You know? Simple like that. I don't have a particular time or space for ancestors. I just do it when I want to do it. And that's just me. You understand? Because in Kisi Malongo, right, as a Tata or Yaya who has an Nganga, we understand that through our Nkisi it's just not the Infumba that could come through and speak. You understand? Even your ancestors could speak through the Nganga. You know, so I really don't need to have anything up to reverence or to speak to my ancestors, because I could speak through them through my Nkisi. When I say my prayers, or in Boas, as we say, I'm in front of my Nkisi, and I'm calling upon my ancestors. You understand? So, you know, that's why I lean more towards this way. Do I turn a candle on? Do I buy some flowers here now and then? Do I bake some type of food for my ancestors? Do I light incense? Do I do for ancestors? Yes, I do. But I just don't have an altar that it's always there just for that. And it's on certain occasions and certain times. You know, other than going to Campo Santo and Finda, which is holy ground, the cemetery. Other than going there also, you know, I go there and I do my propitiations and I do what I have to do there when I go. But I don't choose a certain day to go. I choose whenever I want to go, because I believe that you shouldn't have a certain date put upon you for you to do things. It should come from you, from your heart, to do it. So, and that's what I follow. You know, there are a lot of different ways that we could propitiate and ask for guidance and seek help from our ancestors. You know, you guys, you know, whatever you practice, whatever you do, and however you do it, that's upon you and how you feel, or what is your practice. Nobody could tell you anything. You understand? As long as we always have our ancestors in our heart, in our mind, and we understand that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we at, with the good and the bad, because we have to accept it all, you know, and do what you got to do to always, you know, have that connection with them. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that our ancestors are all those who have gone. They already have transitioned over, and that are not just connected here for material gains. They're more elevated. They still are ancestors because they come from that one force, that one energy, that beginning, that essence, if you want to, or that power, if you want to call it that. Leaving all racism to the side, leaving all prejudice to the side. You know, at the end of the day, we all are energy, and we come from one source. You know, but what else I was going to speak about real quick before anything? I was going to say something I had in my mind. Can you set up an altar just for your ancestors? Yes, you can. If you don't know already, yes, you can. And you can put whatever you want to put on that altar. If that's what you like, if that's what you feel, you could do that. Whichever way you want to do it, you could do it. Do certain traditions set up altars certain ways? Yes, they do. So if you are from a certain tradition, practice, religion, then do it according to what your practice or religion states of how you should do it. But I think that these things, when it comes to family, that you still hold and you seek help and guidance from, I think it comes from within, you know, that you do certain things for them. But like I said, when I ask for guidance, sorry guys, I'm under the L. When I ask for wisdom, guidance, protection, I'm just not asking from my family, blood family. I'm asking from my ancestors as a whole, in general. You understand? I hope you guys understood what I'm trying to say. I hope you have a great day. Be blessed. Be safe. Sorry for the glare and stuff of the sun. It's crazy. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. See you next time, guys.